The Mindshift podcasts are brought to you by the Quantum Living Corporation and are based on the emotional alchemy principles of Dr. Craig Farney, whose goal is to rewrite the human operating system, one thought at a time.
Welcome to Mindshift with the Emotional Alchemist, where transformation begins from the inside out. I'm Dr. Craig Farney, and I help people like you every day uncover the beliefs that run their lives, which then allows me to help them rewire their subconscious thinking and help them finally to begin to feel at peace within their own skin. So, welcome back to another episode of Mindshift with the Emotional Alchemist, and I've got another member of my BNI chapter with me. Today I have Jairo Ornelas with Red Cardinal Construction. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So is this your first podcast?
Yes.
Ever?
Yeah.
And you're not nervous at all?
Oh, I'm super nervous.
So, what are you nervous about?
I don't know. It's just I guess already having a business, you're already in the public eye, but
Right.
this is like, I don't know, online is different.
Well, and there's something about when there's a camera, it's like everything seems more
Yeah.
permanent, I think.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your journey from where you grew up to where you are now.
Let's see. Well, I've always grown up here, born and raised in Wichita, Kansas.
What part of the city are you from?
The west side.
West side?
Well, my parents, where I grew up at,
Mm-hmm.
I live almost right across the street from there. So
Gotcha.
we still live really close. So.
I'm going to do something here. We're going to bring this a little closer.
All right.
You're good. You got a good voice, so I can hear you. But
Okay, so let's see.
So where'd you go to high school?
I went to Northwest
Okay.
High School.
Graduated when?
2019.
Okay.
I went to West my freshman and my sophomore year.
Okay.
And for my first semester of my sophomore year, and then my second semester, I went to Northwest.
Okay.
I actually had already gone to Northwest my freshman year, but I didn't live over on that side.
You kind of bend the rules a little bit?
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
So
here's an interesting fun fact. I graduated from Northwest High School
okay.
a few years before you. 1983. So, yeah.
1983.
Yeah. I was actually the fifth graduating class from Northwest.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So,
So how long
Fun
has
fact.
Northwest been around?
1979.
Okay.
And one of my cousins, she was actually in the first graduating class.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little fun fact there.
That's
So,
cool. That's
so how did you get to doing what you're doing?
cool. So my dad has always had a framing company.
Mm-hmm.
He's had it almost 25 years.
Okay.
Since I might be lying. 23-ish. I'd like to say 25, 20
Sure.
25.
And round up.
But yeah, I've always worked with him. Growing up, you don't ever get no breaks.
Right.
So every summer, I was always working every summer.
Okay.
Even if I was just like picking up trash.
Right.
Everything I look forward to was going to Quick Trip in the morning, buying a pizza or something.
Right.
Get to the work site, take a nap, wake
Right.
up, and start picking up some trash.
So I'm going to tell you right away since this is a podcast about mindset and shifting your mindset and all that, each one I've done, I've kind of sought to pick out a different aspect of mindset.
Okay.
And as I thought about you, I want to talk about the mindset of culture.
Okay.
Because it seems to me, because there's you, there's Anthony, there's Gabe, you kind of had a similar experience.
Yeah.
That there's kind of this family business that it almost seems like that's part of the culture, the Mexican culture.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah. But it's kind of, I say it would be different for Tony.
Okay.
'Cause, his dad traveled a lot
Right.
because he was like a commercial electrician.
Right.
And he was doing like big warehouses. So
Right.
they were constantly moving.
Right.
I think when we were about like 5 or 6 years old, my aunt didn't want to move anymore.
Right.
So she was like, hey, well, like I want to stay here with you guys. So
Right.
my dad had enough lot to allow them to build their house right next to ours. So
Okay.
we grew up together, and Tony actually worked with us.
Right.
So every time I would go to work when I was little,
Right.
Tony would go with us.
Right.
And then until his dad came back, he started going as an electrician.
Yeah.
Framing was too hard for him.
Well, because and I in no way mean this in any way offensive or racial, but
Yeah.
it seems to me like a lot of roofing guys that do the subcontract roofing, framing, it's a family of
It's kind of an instilled, like working. It's
Right.
kind of like in the culture. You have
Yeah.
to, like that's what it is. You provide for your family,
right.
and you kind of get that instilled. I feel like that's what your parents or your dad does to
Right.
instill that into you, is starting you at a young age.
Well, and I say it from a place of respect because I respect that too. That because I think back on my upbringing. My dad worked at Cessna, so I wasn't going to work with my dad to do aircraft work. I was playing with my friends or goofing off, and I'm like, I see a very strong work ethic, even in the little bit that I've known you. You have a drive to accomplish something.
I'd like to think that. Maybe my dad and my brother don't.
It's all a matter of perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, let's talk about that a little bit. What is your drive? What drives you?
Well, it is. I really want my business to succeed.
Okay.
Like, I want to be. So my dad has taken us this far.
Right.
I want to be way past that.
Right.
I want to get to a point he hasn't even thought of
Right.
being. Because I could only fathom where he thinks how far he has gotten. It's been like a lot, and I honestly
Right.
I don't know how, like coming here 25 years ago, how he decided to I'm gonna do this,
Right.
and to where the point that we're at now. I don't know. I really just want to make it. I don't know. I guess it's kind of cheesy, but I just want to make like my dad proud in a sense of that. Like I'm like, dang, I took the business to the next level, and we can kind of chill now a little bit. I don't know if that's ever a word for him to use, but
Right.
because he's constantly working. If there's a rainy day like
Right.
like yesterday,
Right.
he's at home doing something.
Right.
It's never I'm gonna lay down and watch a movie.
Right.
It's never that.
Well, that's kind of why I want to drive it this direction, is going. It's interesting if you look at different cultures have a different mindset. That there is a very strong work ethic among, at least from my experience of most of the Mexican culture. It's you work hard and you play hard though, right? Because there's the siesta part. That's the getting the pizza and taking a nap.
Yes. Well, it's because that's why I say like I have a drive,
Right.
but my drive is not as big as my dad's.
Right.
Because his is like constantly work,
Right.
and I kind of got tired of that.
Yours is kind of in a different direction, right?
Yeah. Like I try to take it to where I'm not as laborious, but I'm taking that all on.
Right.
Doing the paperwork, trying
Gotcha.
to find the work.
Yeah.
Doing it differently than how he did it.
Right.
So it's new for the both of us,
Right.
or really for all three of us, because it's me, my brother, and my dad.
Right.
But
And remind me, your brother, is he older, younger?
yeah, he's older than me.
Okay.
He'll turn 30 in August,
Okay.
and I'll turn 25 in
Gotcha.
September. So
Now, remind me too, are you the youngest?
no, I'm the middle.
You're the middle.
I have a little sister.
Is she involved in the business at all?
No,
This-
no. Just,
She's the princess?
yeah, she's a princess.
Gotcha. So what's the big dream? If you could have your ideal, what does that look like?
Like my ideal lifestyle, or like my ideal whatever.
Start with the business side, because that's kind of what we're talking about now, but then we'll talk about just in general. But
Well,
if
I guess
you,
it kind of like coincides together.
Sure.
Because I just want to be comfortable enough. I guess in business you're never comfortable, and you always should never be comfortable, because then you'll never grow.
right,
But I want to get to the point where I can be comfortable,
right,
and have multiple businesses
right,
that supplement or in a sense, I get enough income to where I can just
Right.
lay back and
Right.
got to tell one person, and he'll tell the rest of the chain of command what needs to be done.
Right.
So that's kind of what I envision.
Right. Instead of, I kind of find that in what I'm doing too, is instead of just being dependent upon one avenue of income,
Exactly.
having multiple streams of income so that when, they ebb and flow, then you're not as impacted by that.
Yeah.
So what keeps you from having that?
I guess right now, I don't know, the scaredness of failure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess every business owner is not a successful business owner unless they've experienced failure.
Right.
But I'm scared. I'm not saying that I haven't experienced that, but I'm saying in something that I've never done,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I want to be like, oh, this is gonna work. This is gonna go like this. But I know that there's gonna be a point that I'm like, oh, I messed up,
Okay.
or I'm falling back, or
Sure. So since we're talking about culture, what would be the culture of failure in what you grew up in? Is that something to be avoided? Is that something to be embraced? Is that something that you fear? How does that fit?
I mean, I would say in like a Hispanic culture, you pretty much, like in a sense, like for my dad, he kind of just threw himself out there to do framing.
Okay.
And like whatever happened just happened, and he was going to keep pushing forward till he got to where he needed to be.
Okay.
Which is.
So do you think he felt a fear of failing?
Yeah, I feel like he definitely felt a fear of failing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this being framing was his only source of income.
Right.
And when times were slow, he never just sat there and was like, oh, I don't got no work, I don't got nothing.
Right.
He started selling pop cans and stuff. He'll go around collecting pop cans, and then he'd go take a thing of cans and sell it, and then he'd have enough to pay for the bills, So
yeah,
he always found a way to provide for us, and I don't know. That's kind of like the mindset, You just kind of you find something. If it's not that, then you look for something else, or you look for another way.
Gotcha.
I want to say I have that, but I don't want to go down that because I've seen him do it, and I want to avoid that.
Right.
But if something's possible, it's doable for everybody. So
maybe do something for me. Scoot in this way just a little. No, your whole get you in the picture. I know you're trying to sneak off the side there. So let me tie in an aspect that I have learned from what I do and what I think is, I think so many people don't realize they're living to not experience something as to experience something. You get what I mean by that?
Kind of.
So think of it this way. Are you seeking to not fail, or are you seeking to succeed? And most people think that's one and the same. They're not. Because one is fear-driven, one is faith-driven.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I would say, I don't know.
Well, in some essence, you kind of answered it because you don't want to go through what your dad went through.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I kind of wanted to, not in the sense that I learned, but I kind of did learn what he did.
Right.
Well, not what he did wrong, but what happened.
Right.
As to why he went through that.
Right. What's some of the biggest things you've learned?
So it's like me getting my general contractor's license allows me to get a lot more work.
Gotcha.
Than instead of just sticking to framing.
Right.
So that was the one thing when I joined BNI was the one thing that I wanted to jump into more because that opens up a lot more doors for me to do a lot more things.
Right. Makes sense.
Before, my dad would frame houses for a builder, and then he would get side jobs where to do additions or where to do garages.
Right.
and we would finish those in the weekends.
Gotcha.
Now those are things that we do or that I do throughout the week, and I try to keep them busy with framing, always framing, and if we don't have framing, then we'll do siding, you know.
Gotcha.
And I'll find other things like building decks and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So it's not just framing now. It's
right.
It's a whole avenue of other things that we can do.
Makes sense. So you kind of learn so that you're not having to collect bottles. You're doing other side jobs.
Yeah, I mean, my dad still does it, but you know, extra money.
I understand. I mean, I get it. You do what you got to do to make things work. So, okay. So what's another lesson that you feel like you learned from your dad's mistakes?
I want to say that's his biggest one, but in a sense of me nitpicking him, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's really like the biggest.
That's the biggest one. Gotcha.
That I can remember that I felt that I knew something was going on, because half the time he would be gone, like working in Garden City or working in liberal building restaurants and apartments and duplexes and houses.
Right.
So I knew when he was home for long periods of time, it was because he didn't have anything to do. So.
Gotcha.
I mean, I guess that would be the only thing I really remember about it. I guess now, since I'm more into it and he's kind of been like passing it down to me, having a more systematic way of organizing the business, because he's been very used to just doing everything himself and keeping everything in his head.
Right.
And I kind of try to tell him we need to have a set way that we do it, and in a way that it's easy for me to plug it into the computer, and the computer to have all our data.
Right.
Make it easier for later on when we're growing the business to hire somebody and be able to train them to do like project manager role.
Right. One of the things I've learned in what I've done and stuff I've studied and researched too is those that are the large businesses, the millionaires, the multimillionaires, it's really all about creating systems. It's systems is what allows you to perpetuate a lot easier and speed up and your efficiency. So one of the things that I've said in our BNI meetings too, and I think getting back to what you're talking about with your dad, is I think the greatest form of wisdom is learning from the mistakes of others. So what, since you said that's the biggest one for your dad, what do you think is the biggest potential mistake you could make?
I don't know. My laziness, man. I think that I don't know. I feel like that would really like get to me.
Okay.
I would say being like procrastinating too much.
Okay.
Because I struggle to focus.
Okay.
I sit down and I'm doing a bid.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, I got to look at this on my phone. Look at the notes on my phone.
Right.
And then it's Facebook that pops up on my phone.
Right.
And then I just start scrolling and I lose
a little bit of time. All right. So if you're open to it, we're gonna play a little mind shift stuff. Okay. Since you brought it up, so let's do this. So I'm gonna start with one thing you just said. You said my laziness. So when you use the word my, do you realize that's possessive? That's identity.
Okay. Yeah.
Think about it this way. If you even just shifted and said, the laziness that I experience, what it starts to do is it starts to separate you from the laziness. Okay. And now it's no longer you, it's what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
Because experiences are easier to change than our identity.
Yeah.
One of the things I do a lot in what I do is what I call wordplay. Because if you pay attention to the words you use, it's a huge impact. Because you're really, in some essence, giving an instruction to your brain on what to do. So by you saying my laziness, it's going, well, this is me, and this is what I'm just going to keep doing. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So where do you think that laziness comes from?
Really, what I really think it goes back to when I got to working with my dad because I really didn't want to go.
Okay.
And I feel like that's where it started as to why I don't like to work. But I kind of have to. Like, it's not a question, which is why I keep doing what I'm doing. But, like, I kind of, as I grew older, like I said, like with my parents instilling, or with my dad instilling that you got to be like the provider for your family. You got to be the one to do that.
Right.
That kind of drives me, and then having a family drives me more because it brings me back to when my dad had to sell bottles to provide for us, and I'm like, I'm not ever doing that. So it's just those are things that I keep in the back of my head.
Gotcha.
Which I guess would be my drive for keeping for still like working to drive me to be better for myself and for the company.
Sure. As a little side note, remind me, where did the name Red Cardinal come from?
Okay, I'll give you the insight.
The insight. Lay it on me.
So when I was making my company, I had looked it up online, and I was like, I don't want to be Ornelas Construction. That's
right.
Like my dad has it. My uncle uses it for his framing company, and I'm like, I don't want to be Ornelas Construction. Like, I'm proud of my last name, but I'm not, like, I don't want that anymore.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, let me look this up. Let me see what would be a good name for a company, like or like anything in general.
Right.
And it said a color, like I guess would it be a noun? Like it's something.
Right.
And what you do.
Right.
So then I was like, okay. Well, then I had like written a bunch of things, and in that time, when I was dating my wife, when we were recently dating, they were. Well, I never knew this, but they were really big into like cardinals.
Okay.
Because when her brother passed away, they see it as like a spiritual being as a cardinal.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, that's like it's a red.
Right.
And it's a cardinal, and that's memorable.
Right.
Somebody that sees it might not remember. Might see the cardinal on my thing, or might see the cardinal on my logo and my name, and that'll be the one thing that they'll remember when they're thinking about me or when they want to give me a call.
Right.
So that's really like why I did it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the insight on my name.
I think it's interesting too, because as your vision is to expand and grow, in some essence, I think that gets into the idea too of, if it's just your name, then it's all tied to you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you start to create this system, then you can almost pull yourself out of it and reap the benefits of what you've created.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes sense too.
Yeah. I've kind of tried to step away from the laborious part of framing. I still have to go in and help sometimes, which it's a lot.
Does that little kid still go, I don't want to do this?
Yeah. But I mean, I have to do it because there's nobody else to go and help them out. So I go in and I help them out, but it's like I go in to help them, but half the time I'm on the phone because people are calling me.
Right.
Or I already have a meeting set up that I have to go to.
Gotcha.
And it delays them, and it delays, I guess it would delay me too, because I have to go in, and then on top of working, I have to go and do some other things. And I'm it's a lot to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
So I kind of try to tell my dad and my brother that they kind of need to figure it out.
How does that go with them?
They I don't know. They like it sometimes.
Right.
I don't know if they like it. I'm pretty sure they don't like it, but they like it when I go and help out.
Right.
Because, like, the way we do things, like I already know how to do it, and they don't got to worry about me.
Right.
When I go and help them out, that they need to come in.
Right.
That I did something wrong, or that I messed up, or that I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I mean, sometimes for doing things quick, I might mess up sometimes, but I'll go back and fix it. Like I know what I need to do.
Right.
But yeah, I kind of tell them they need to hire somebody with experience.
Right.
And fire somebody that, like, because we have a couple people that don't know, like how to work, or they don't know much about construction. And
Right.
Like, well, those are tough calls to make, but something needs to be done to continue the progress of the job.
So do you guys have a formal structure where somebody's like the head and no, it just kind of.
So I want to put myself in that position,
Mm-hmm.
but that kind of falls in with my dad because, like, since I still, like, that's kind of like, I was like, well, like, it's me, my dad, and my brother.
Right.
But my brother should be the only one in charge of the framing crew.
Right.
But my dad's having to go and help him out.
Okay.
And then I'm over here running around doing all these things.
Right.
Which my dad should be with me doing all these things. Or he should be doing his own thing.
Okay.
And we should all be doing different things. But, so, like, my brother, in a sense, is, well, we're all part owners of the company.
Right.
But he, like, he would be the one in charge of the crew. So that's his position.
Right.
And then my dad, pretty much my dad and me are the ones that go back and forth on, okay, so we should charge this or we should charge that. And any decisions like sponsorships or whatever,
Right.
I'll tell them, I'll be like, hey, well, I want to do this. I want to sponsor a golf club.
Right.
Okay. Well, how much is it? And then he'll decide. He'll be like, well, yes or no. That's too much, or that's okay.
So does Dad have the final say?
I would say he does, but I don't know. We're figuring that out still.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm kind of scared to go over him sometimes.
Right.
Because he's my dad.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go over my dad.
Right.
So, like, I find that very disrespectful.
Right.
So that's kind of like, I don't want to say it's an issue, but that's why I don't go ahead and just jump them over.
Gotcha. Now, do you think that's an aspect that's cultural also?
Yes. Because, I mean, I don't know, you always respect your dad.
Right.
So.
Because that kind of ties in another interesting dynamics that I haven't really had anybody to talk this through as well is it's, some people say never do business with family.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, we argue all the time.
Right.
But like, I don't know, I kind of envision it like that. Like, we argue, but the next day we're fine.
Right.
And we can go into work amicably.
Right.
But if you got a worker or that's your secondhand man, that's your friend, and you get into a fight, that might be the end of your business, you know?
Gotcha.
So I kind of see it both ways.
Yeah, I could see that too. Well, and would you also say too, part of the Hispanic culture too, though, is how vital or important family is.
Yeah, I
almost
feel like,
kind of no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Family is, I would say, in our culture is like a big, like it's always, oh, that's like, say me and my brother were to get in a fight,
right,
for whatever reason, and I don't want to talk to him ever. So then my mom and my dad would come to both of us and say, well, you guys are brothers, you guys need to make up, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I get that.
That's just how it goes. I don't know. That's
Well, because I think that makes a difference. It's as I'm having these interviews, I'm like, I can see these little nuances of how our mindset affects us and where that mindset develops.
Yeah.
That, you know, there are hereditary factors, there are environmental factors like culture, and even the difference in a Hispanic family versus a white family versus a black family. There's a difference in that culture that impacts on how we see the world, really.
Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting piece too. I want to go back a little bit to your procrastination part. The procrastination that you experience. So I think you and I talked about this when we did a one-to-one before about the inner parent, inner child aspect.
I think so.
Did we talk about that?
I think so. I'm not
So
100% sure, but I think
the inner parent is kind of what lives in your head. It's the part that goes, I should do this, I got
Yeah.
to, I need to, I have to. The inner child part of that is the part in your gut that goes, I don't want to, or I want to this, or I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so you still feel that I don't want to do this, and
I
then
do.
you override it.
I do in the mornings. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't ever want to wake up.
Right.
Because I'm just so comfortable in my bed. But I just, like, I force myself to get up
Right.
every morning. I wish I could feel like Francois, get up at 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. Get up
Yeah.
and do something. But
You pay a price for that too.
Yeah.
That's we had an interesting conversation about that because I respect that, and yet I'm going, I'm not doing that. That's too early.
yeah,
But if I go, okay, instead of get up at 6 or 7, what if I got up at 5? Something that I can do and go
yeah,
gain time there.
which is what I want to. I want to start doing that for myself because I'm gaining weight.
Mhm.
I want to be able to get up in the morning, or should I say, I do want to get up in the morning
Right.
and do it, and go work out or
Right.
go on a run or something. Since I retired from soccer last year, I don't have any. I don't get any exercise right now. So
Right. So I'll share a little insight I learned from something when we use the word I want to, because I used to go shift from I should, I need, I have to I want to. And I had this session with a gal that she was saying when you use the word want, you're basically telling your brain you're lacking in it.
Mhm.
And if you change from I want to I choose, now you're not lacking. What do you think about that?
So I choose as in.
I choose to get up and run in the morning, as opposed to I want to get up and run in the morning.
Yeah.
Because if you think about even how those words feel,
Mm-hmm.
because when you say I want to, that's more still coming from here. You're having to override.
Yeah, what you feel.
Right. Whereas when you say I choose, it actually incorporates both of those together.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if this resists, you're basically helping it go, we're making a choice here. You're basically teaching it to that inner child party to go, we got to make a choice here. If we choose to be lazy, then here's the consequences. You're going to have the extra weight. You're going to have the stuff that you really don't want. Because even the inner child doesn't want to be overweight.
Yeah.
So, or doesn't have that desire. So that's something you might think about too, is as you're playing with that.
That's true. Yeah, I need to get better with my choice of words.
If you pay attention to what you just said I need to, right? And here's the funny, I hit people a lot with this word. When they use the word need,
Yeah.
that's really not a true statement,
Okay.
because you really only need to do about 4 to 5 things.
Yeah.
You need to breathe,
Yeah.
or you will die. You need to eat, or you will die. You need to sleep, or you will die. You need to drink, or you will die. And you need to eliminate, or you will die. So that word need, in fact, I'll give you a little heads up for when you're teaching your children. I'm sure your parents never said you need to go clean your room, right?
No, they said I have to.
Oh, yeah, it was even more. It wasn't even a choice.
Yeah.
But when a parent says to a child, even that word, though, the truth is you don't have to. You could choose to not.
Yeah, but
Then there's consequences. Yes, obviously. If I could go back, I would go, here's what I desire or I'm asking you to choose to do. And if you choose, here's the benefits. And if you choose not to, here's the consequences. So then it becomes, because I think there's almost something within the inner child when it hears you need to, you have to, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be told you have to, you got to, you need to.
Yeah.
It's almost like we automatically resist that.
Yeah. That's my that's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
Is being told to do something.
Right.
Like
'Cause
that just.
that will.
I don't know why it just makes me mad.
Because it brings that inner child out.
Yeah.
No child wants to be told what to do. The child wants to do what the child wants to do. And I think it activates that or stimulates that. And for some people, it's less of a big deal. For others, it's a bigger deal. I think for you, it's a bigger deal because you're like going, I don't want to. So if you can be aware of that, because here's the thing too, is you're doing that even with yourself. And this is where you're going to, one of the biggest things I've pushed in my practice, and even I'm seeking to get out of this podcast, is the concept of this. You're having a conversation with yourself all the time.
Yeah.
The problem is, as much as 95% of that conversation is not conscious. It's subconscious or unconscious. So we will tend to have that conversation of the inner parent to the inner child like what we experienced. You will tend to tell your inner child, you need to get up. You got to get up. You have to get up. And that inner child's going, I don't want to. Whereas if you could bring that to awareness, now you have the opportunity to change that conversation. Yeah. So, because here's one of my favorite analogies to do. I want you to do this. Imagine you today could have a conversation with you when you were made to go to work. Got it? Mm-hmm. What would you say to that version of you then?
I would say, do you not want to go make some money?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else would drive a 12-year-old to go
now here's where you get to play with this. And I have found this really successful. What would that 12-year-old say to you? Because what does that 12-year-old really want to do?
Go outside and play.
Right.
Play video games, you know.
Right.
Which, yeah, I mean, they're kid things.
Right.
But at the same time, I was playing soccer during that time. Mm-hmm. And when I would go to work,
right,
then I would get paid.
Right.
I'd buy soccer cleats or something.
Right.
You know, something I felt proud of.
Right. Well, and this is the conversation that is actually going on inside of you. That inner parent part of you that realizes, hey, you go to work because you get income because you get benefits from it. It's logical. That inner parent is logical. The inner child is not as logical. It's more emotional. Yeah. It's more feeling based. And if you can actually kind of have that conversation almost out loud, you start to get aware of yourself and you start to go, what if I interacted with myself differently? Because then you're not necessarily having to push the child as much. You're encouraging, you're stimulating, you're bringing his energy with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you might play with that a little bit. Next time, when you get up in the morning, instead of going, you have to, you got to, go, okay, why don't you want to? What is it you want to sleep, but why? What is it you're seeking to, are you seeking to avoid something? Are you seeking to just have more time, rest? You know, it's interesting. If you could actually make some of those conversations conscious, makes a huge difference.
Yeah, because there's like I don't know, some days I just wake up and I'm like, well, if the night before mm-hmm. I set the plan, I'm like, you know what?
Right.
I'm gonna get up at 5. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
Right.
And then I'm gonna go to work.
Right.
And if I'm like if I'm in sync with doing that,
mm-hmm.
then in the morning I'll wake up, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing. Like I'm well rested.
Yes.
Well, I feel well rested. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep, but still, like I felt like mm-hmm. I still feel good in the morning to get up. I feel that pump
because that pump comes from that inner child. There's a term that I think applies a lot is there's what's called coherence. You're either in coherence with yourself or you're out of coherence with yourself. And I think that's when it becomes difficult because there's a fight between the inner parent and the inner child.
Okay.
Make sense?
Well, that sounds like I'm constantly fighting.
Most of us are. Well, you go back to even the start of this video, you felt nervous because the inner parent part of you goes, yeah, we can do this.
Yeah.
We can, this is a benefit. And the inner child goes, I don't want to get on camera. I don't want to people be looking at me and talking about me and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can realize that's going on, then it's easier to have a healthier conversation with yourself.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So Any other thoughts you would like to talk about today? You have any questions?
I don't know. Let me think.
I'm going to.
Any questions for you?
Here's the thing I've learned about you is if I give you a little bit of time, you'll think on it. You'll brood on it.
I will.
I know you do, and I'm good with that.
Let me see. So what kind of drove you to be like this chiropractor?
What I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think all of us do.
Here, wait. One question.
Yeah.
Another question
go ahead.
before this one.
Yeah.
So what would you call what you do right now? Because every time I tell somebody, I'm like, well, it's like some voodoo magic stuff.
Well, let me put it in this way.
Okay.
So I started in traditional chiropractic, which is basically about adjusting the spine and the neck and basically working on neck pain, back pain, headaches. Okay. Then I transitioned into doing more what's called functional medicine, where we're looking at blood work, stool testing, saliva testing. We're looking at the chemistry. So I started with the structure. I got people to a certain level of progress, and then they would plateau. So I'm like, okay, well, what else can I do? So then I started working with the chemistry or the physiology, which is where all the diagnostic testing came into play. And then again, I got to a further level of progress. Same thing though, people would plateau. We could have labs looking great, and they still don't feel good, which kind of led me into, in some essence, it's energy medicine. I like to call it intuitive medicine, because really what we're doing is using our conscious awareness in conjunction with our subconscious intuitive sense in a specific framework to basically ask questions of the body. Because there's a wisdom within the body that sometimes we have trouble accessing consciously. And so we're engaging in the subconscious realm. So it's really the energy realm. It's the things that we feel that we don't know why we feel. It's the things that we know that we don't know why we know. It's tying into that realm. So in simple terms, it's a form of energy medicine or frequency medicine. One of the things that most people don't realize is everything is energy or vibration. Even though we call this solid, it's actually just vibration. It's just energy. If you break everything apart, it's just light energy is all it is. And so I think of it from the perspective of everything is either vibrating in a healthy frequency or an unhealthy frequency. And so that's really what we get at is it's figuring out where within your being are unhealthy frequencies or unhealthy vibrations and what helps balance that out and what's the cause of it. And that's what we do. So it's energy and frequency medicine. So how did I get here? So I think most of us ultimately seek to help other people prevent experiencing what we experience. As a kid and even into my adult life, I experienced a lot of probably more depression even than anxiety, but there's anxiety or fear with it. So that's really kind of been my journey of how can I help other people not experience what I experience? Because what I do, yes, I do energy and frequency medicine, and I really take it a lot into mindset, the way we think, the way we feel, the way we behave, and help people being aware of that, because I think ultimately that's what drives our health. Because when you think healthy, you feel healthy, you act healthy. Kind of like you talked about your good days. The night before you set your intention, you set your thought process, which created a feeling, which then created a behavior. Yeah. When those thought processes are not healthy, and the most challenging part is most of this develops in the first 5 years of our life where we're not really even consciously aware or engaged. And so you have patterns that are imprinted or programmed into us that then impact us for the rest of our life, unless we do something to reprogram those programs. So that's really ultimately what drives me towards it. Because of what I've experienced, I want to help other people not experience what I experienced. I mean, one of the things you're going to find as a parent, you'll do anything for your kid not to feel what you felt. Yeah. And I will tell you, you're getting lucky here because you get some parental insight for free. But One of the things that I've learned is it's not about preventing your child from experiencing what you've experienced. I'll give you a couple of simple examples. I struggle with low self-esteem. So my oldest son, I told him all the time, hey, you're the greatest. You're so smart. You're all this. I don't think that really helped him because I was doing it. And by the way, he is really smart. He is a great kid. All my kids are great. But it was more me trying to make him not feel low self-esteem as opposed to just going, you have healthy esteem. How do I help you to have healthy esteem? Another example I did too is I told my kids all the time, don't go into debt, don't go into debt. If I could go back and do it over, I'd go build wealth. Because again, it goes back to what we talked about is you're either trying to not experience something or you're choosing to experience something. And I think so many people are trying to not experience something. It's funny how many times we'll do this. If you could have your ideal, what does that look like?
What do you mean my ideal?
What you already talked about being comfortable. So in some essence, what is comfortable?
Not having to worry.
Bingo. You use the word not.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're trying to not something as opposed to something.
Yeah.
What you really want is freedom.
Yeah.
So if you pursued freedom, this already takes care of itself.
Yeah.
But by going, I don't want to work, your focus is still on work. So you're basically trying to get comfortably enough away from work that you can relax. The truth is you never relax because this is still the focus.
Yeah.
Whereas you think about freedom, you can actually feel freedom while you're working, if that makes sense. It's changing what you're focused on because what you focus on, the brain gives you more of. And the brain does not know the word not at the core level. So if you go not work, then all it hears is work, 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 work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas if you start putting in there freedom, you're going to automatically start to do the activities that move you towards freedom. You're moving to something as opposed to away from something.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you came out here today?
Yeah.
This was fun, wasn't it?
It was very fun.
Good. Well, how about we wrap this up and maybe we'll do another one sometime. Oh, I do want to do one other thing. Remind me your tattoo, because I was thinking about that, because that's family also.
Yeah, so this is actually Anthony's brother.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Brother.
Right.
He passed away the year we graduated, 2019, April 18th, 2019.
Right.
In a car accident, coming back from work. So he was really like, I want to say the only, I want to say not the only reason I tatted him on here.
Right.
But, a big reason why I did it was because, like I said, I don't know, like Tony's like a brother to me.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt and my uncle are like my second parents.
Yes.
My mom was sick a lot.
Right.
When I was younger.
Right.
So I was always at my aunt's house. She would cook for us.
Okay.
We would sometimes even sleep over there.
Right.
I don't know, but just being able to walk the little sidewalk from my house to his house.
Right.
It like every day we're interacting with each other every day.
Right.
I don't know, just created that brother bond.
Right.
You know.
Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he passed away, it was I don't know, it was really hard.
Yeah.
For all of us, and he was actually like, I want to say the first immediate family to pass away, and so I just felt like getting him tatted on my arm,
Right.
Kind of get him. I don't know, just to not forget.
Right.
You never forget, but
Yeah.
you
I
know,
get what you're saying.
get that.
I want to touch on one last thing you said. I don't even know if you realized you said it, because I think these little things even tie in there, as you said, on his way home from work.
What?
If you think about the word work, what's the first thing you feel?
I mean, not good.
You feel a resistance, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think what happens is even that can add to that.
To work.
Yeah. And if you can be aware of that going, okay, because the truth is you don't not work. And it isn't even, I don't think that you don't like work because you like the benefit of it. It just, what I see is you have a mindset of going, I want to do, I don't want to do as much laborious work. I want to go beyond that. I want to create a freedom for myself that I don't have to work.
Now, I would rather much do laborious work than be stuck behind a computer. I could never do that. Really.
Yeah.
I'd be, I don't know, bored.
Yeah.
What would you do?
We'll have to get somebody on here that does that and find out. So, all right, my friend. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me.
You're very welcome. And I will say to my audience, stay tuned. We'll have somebody else on the next episode of Mindshift with the Emotional Podcast.
Thank you for joining the Mindshift podcast today. If this resonates, Dr. Farney would love to hear from you. Leave a review, message him on social media, or visit www.docerelifecenter.com to learn more about Dr. Farney and his approach to wellness. Until next time, keep alchemizing. The content of this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended to be a substitute for professional mental health, medical, or therapeutic advice, diagnosis, or treatment. While Dr. Craig is passionate about emotional healing and personal growth, he is not acting as your personal therapist, counselor, or healthcare provider in this format. If you're experiencing significant emotional distress, mental health challenges, or physical ailments, he strongly encourages you to seek support from a licensed professional in your area. By listening, you agree to take full responsibility for your own well-being, decisions, and actions. You're the expert of your experience. This podcast is simply here to help support and inspire your healing journey.